Dead Scare Entertainment takes pleasure in presenting Verda Darano, a journey into the phantasmagoric lands of folklore, literature, theater, and film. In the centuries-old tradition of the Romani people, we bring to you stories of superstition, fantasy, and adventure. There's no turning back. The Verda approaches.
Latchi Ratyi Miro Amal. Good evening, friend. I'm Esmakalai. There was a tingle in your spine. I know. Why? Because it is time. The witching hour has finally fallen upon us. The veil between dimensions is at its thinnest, and the air is filled with the frenzy of the unknown. Take it all in with a deep breath, Amal. It's Halloween. The one night of the year we cherish. Candles flicker in the jack-o'-lantern porches. Ghosts sway with the breeze on the trees. Spiderwebs glisten with the dew of the morning after the blackest of nights. A festival of splendor, I'd say, appreciated by young and old. Our next guest is one of the many that take part in the festivities, but draws a line in the sand after a point. That point is the line of demarcation between the fun and fancy-free frolics of the orange autumnal jubilee and the cold, endless recesses of blackness, haunted by the spirits and entities our feeble minds cannot comprehend. Don't worry, though. I saved you a seat, right next to me, so we can visit her and listen to her tales of terror on this our favorite day of the year. Are you frightened? Oh, you should be.
Latchi Ratyi Dead Scare Entertainment. Happy Halloween. After every episode, after we all counted down the days, after we pre-ordered our costumes all the way back in June and they finally arrived about maybe 3 weeks ago and then we had to reorder them again because they came in the wrong size, we're finally at the point. It is now the midnight hour. I can't believe this. This season has come and gone. I swear I feel like Charlie Brown and Linus on that damn brick wall. But tonight, before the spooks all retire back to their solemn 6-foot under slumbers, we have one more episode for you. And this one has to be the most vile, the most shocking, the most undescribably gut-churning, stomach-turning, disgustingly crazy episode we're gonna do. Why? Because it's Raquel. Yeah, hi, how you doing?
Hi.
You know, we could have maybe gotten like Steve Martin on this. We could have got, I was on the phone with Jonah Hill the other day. No, we're stuck with her. But we'll make the best of it, I guess. So, how you doing?
I'm really tired actually right now. It has been a month. It really has.
It's been a summer and a fall.
The summer and a winter and a It's been a year.
It's been a year since, whenever it's mother. So, yeah. Well, you know the drill of this all. So tell me, who are you? Where'd you grow up? Give us your backstory.
So, for those who don't know, where should I start? So, I was born in Dearborn, Michigan, and then when I was just a wee little lad, our parents moved us to Chicago, and we've kind of been here ever since, but I kind of consider my home to be Dearborn because, of course, all of my family lives there. But for a short time, look how I'm already thinking ahead of the incoming questions. I'm already wanting to talk about Halloween things.
Someone's excited and tired.
No, I'm just tired. Yeah, so grew up in Chicago. Very Catholic upbringing, for those who don't like to hear that, because this is a horror podcast, and it kind of goes against everything, but because of that, I'm scared of a lot of things. Yeah, a lot of things freak me out and scare me. Did that answer the question?
You didn't. Oh, all you said is.
Oh, about myself, yeah?
Yeah,
where I grew
about
up
yourself. Yeah. Well, what about you? What are you, a clown?
Well,
You go to circus school? Cause you know what, you look like it.
I should at this point.
They probably make good money. No, they don't. Sorry, clowns. I don't know who's more of the joke right now. Us or you?
So currently, at the moment, I am co-founder of Dead Scared Entertainment, which is what you're listening to right now. This is our podcast. I am the narrator of Verda Darano. You may know me as Esma Galai, but today I'm not Esma. I'm just me. What else do I do? I model, and I have about 10 other side hustles that I do within my life, which are kind of boring and unimportant, so we'll just stick to modeling. I just recently walked World Fashion Fest here in Chicago for Chicago Fashion Week as a 5 foot tall petite model. Shout out to Why Not Petites for giving me the platform to be doing things like this as a petite model. Yeah.
Yeah, they gave you a little shot.
Get me out of here.
Well, you skipped over basically your whole upbringing for the most part.
Oh.
In general.
I know, because I'm so used to asking the questions. I'm already jumping ahead, I feel like, to too many things. Anywho, so my upbringing, we basically lived in a house. Don't touch me. I'll spit.
But yeah, you can
First of
sock me.
all-
Every time you laugh, you can sock me. In my arm, in my leg, in my ass.
So first of all, like I mentioned before, very Catholic upbringing. I feel like our family values and cultural traditions have been very much of a huge impact on kind of how I grew up and formed, I guess, what I do today. Does that
What
make
culture
sense?
is this?
Oh, we're Rom.
Not Jamaican?
No.
Not Chinese?
No.
No?
So yeah, pretty cool culture.
Sure, that pretty cool culture. Sure.
Most of you may not like us, but that's okay, because maybe one day you'll give us a chance. If you're listening to this podcast, thank you so much, because you're giving us a chance.
Very true.
I also feel like a lot of people may know me, and if they're listening to this, from a Instagram reel and a TikTok that I did, I want to say last year. Was it last year?
Are you
The one that went viral?
Are you talking about the one for Dead Scared? Or are you
Yeah.
talking about the one that made you famous on TikTok?
No, the one for Dead Scared.
Okay.
Yeah, so I put out a video because Pierce was bugging me to make some type of content. And the problem was at the time is I still wasn't comfortable with people knowing what I was, just because so many people have given me a lot of negative reactions. Kind of once they figured it out themselves, or they asked and I would blatantly say. But basically the video was me telling the viewer about my experience in kindergarten, and how I stood up proudly and said I'm Hungarian gypsy. I think that's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of hate in the comments, people saying that I wouldn't go to school if I really was gypsy, and that I'm too white and I don't look like if I'm gypsy, and all the things that people would kind of say if you don't look like a specific race, but you're claiming to be it.
Fomani.
Yeah, Fomani.
Yeah, big Fomani you are.
But yeah, that was a wild couple weeks, because I was getting a lot of DMs saying that I should kill myself.
Oh, I remember those, and I had to translate out of so many different visas all the crazy, dirty, horrible things they were telling you.
Yeah,
because you don't speak Romanes.
So
like
then,
that.
After that, well, kind of around the same time, I was transitioning from doing some acting work at CineSpace here in Chicago to more, I want to say, modeling gigs. And it was kind of this weird, like, time, because I didn't want to tell people, like, oh yeah, I'm white, just because I'm white passing, translucent almost.
I was gonna say not to say like a glow stick. I was saying glue stick. Yeah, Raquel the glue stick.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I kind of took what everybody was saying and kind of said screw it, and just started telling people, what I really am, and genuinely being proud of it too at this point. It was kind of like, in your face. Like it or not, I really don't care, because look at the doors that I'm walking into as a Rom girl. So, that was that. But I guess back to the original question, growing up. Sorry, I'm so all over the place.
Do you even know this podcast?
No. So growing up, we went from school to school because my brother would get bullied a lot.
You and me both.
I would get bullied a lot too, but I feel like they would bully you more so to the point where our parents would say, okay, that's enough, we can't do this anymore, you need to go to a different school.
Because see, the difference was between you and me, even from a little boy, I was more vocal about being Rom. and I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
That was the difference, is that I didn't care. And it was growing up in Chicago, inner city Chicago, and you were like of a handful of quote unquote white kids out of everybody else. You would think, you know, a lot of people speak about their experience on the flip side. Well, not so much inner city. And the problem is I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to deal with that. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it wasn't the easiest thing. I wasn't like the most macho person. And obviously, too, this interview ain't about me, but point being is, nah, it just wasn't easy. And on top of it, a lot of the schools were pretty, like, another reason why we left them, too, they weren't challenging enough.
Yeah.
At least for me.
Yeah.
Honor roll the whole way through. So that was a mixture.
But so was I. The only problem that kind of stumped me up a bit was getting there. I didn't want to go to school.
We know that.
I hated school.
I was late every day because of you.
But I still went.
Yeah.
I still got good grades as well. I was honor roll as well. I really was, believe it or not. Now that I think of it, I can't even believe that.
No, I can't believe it either.
I can't even believe that I graduated college, let alone
Where did you go to college?
middle school.
Because you mentioned everything else under the sun except one of the biggest accolades that a Rome could probably have at this point.
So, I graduated from DePaul University in 2020, May of 2020. So, a very challenging time to graduate. Thought I'd be going into a very corporate role, but instead, because of the pandemic and lockdown, we were literally in lockdown, graduated via YouTube video. We took Horvath Productions, which was the previous name of Dead Scared Entertainment, and we officially made it a legitimate company.
Yeah. You want to tell them the story about what happened the day we went to register? This is a real good one.
So we went to register and I put on all my stuff, all my good stuff. I had on my leopard print jacket, fur coat. I had on my cute little tracksuit with my brand new New Balance sneakers, gym shoes. And I had on such a cute headband because I was so ready.
And it said across it, all sparkles, boss. But then this is the best, is that on top of all of this, she had a big red plastic screen.
Well, you have to think we were still in the middle of the pandemic.
I know.
It was like January or February.
It was February 17th.
Yeah, it was... It was February of 2021 when we went to it was 2021.
21?
Yeah.
So then
this will be our
third year.
Yeah.
This coming February.
Yes. So
wow.
Yeah, so I had this big screen on my face with a KN95 mask.
Yeah.
And I had these really cute, like oversized 70s sunglasses on with big gold earrings on, and I did my hair, my makeup, everything, right?
And this was right outside the Daily Center.
So this is right across the street from the Daily Center, where you go and you register for your business. And I remember we were waiting for our mother to come and pick us up because we didn't want to drive all the way down there and park and do all that.
Big money to park and everything.
Well, not only that, you can never find a parking regardless.
Yeah.
So we were waiting for her to come and pick us up. And we were standing outside the Daily Center taking pictures and videos because we were excited that we officially signed up, for our LLC. And I was literally dancing on the dailies. What is that? That like
The Picasso, not the Picasso, the Picasso, the Picasso
that
statue.
big red statue that you see in the Ferris Bueller movie. Dancing like an idiot. A couple birds put themselves to fly over me and literally shitted all over my head, my headband, my coat, everything.
I remember she was out. She said, "Oh," and I looked at her because I'm taking pictures. I said, "What? What's wrong?" And she said, "Mona, is it raining?"
No, I didn't.
Yes, she said, "Mona, I felt something like fall on me, like water or something. This is what you told me." And I said, "Wait, let me look." And I started laughing horrible, couldn't catch my breath because there in her mask, in her hair, in the protective gear was all bird shit. So we had to go run somewhere with a bathroom.
Luckily, it was open at the time that we went because we went really early in the morning.
It was afternoonish.
We ran into block 37. It was completely empty. The
Yeah.
only person that was there was literally a security guard.
And she thought we were crazy.
And the bathroom attendant too. So while I'm wiping shit off of my hair and everything.
She came to ask if everything was all right.
Yeah.
And I said, "Sorry, the birds just shit off."
The bathroom attendant was looking at me like if I was insane. Because not only was I dressed utterly insane,
She was all shit.
Yeah, I was all...
And you were crying terrible, but I said, "See, that's luck."
Yeah. I guess it's luck. I don't know.
Well, the Roman believe if you step in shit or you end up getting shit on, that's luck.
That's a us thing?
That's a Romane thing. Yes, that is. That or if you dream with shit.
No.
Yes, if you dream with shit, that's good luck. The only time you gotta worry is if it's teeth or if you dream with dogs. That's when it's a little... And again, it depends on who's interpreting your dream, but it is what it is. Yeah, so that's how this is you just in general. Let's see if we could put a little bit more of a straightforward path on this next question. So what was Halloween like growing up? Anything worth mentioning? Anything memorable? What did you like about it? What did you terrified you? I'm pretty sure that's a long list.
I always loved Halloween growing up. I love dressing up. That's kind of my thing. So I remember from little, some of my earliest memories is like the itchiness of the costumes that I would wear. I remember I was a lot of things, but I feel like the earliest costume that I actually remember like feeling was a cat costume. And I've only seen pictures of this because I don't remember anything what it involved. I didn't even like
Do you
it's
remember where
hard
we went with that?
All I remember is sitting in a car seat and feeling the orange and black cat fur in the car seat. And that is my earliest Halloween memory.
That day, they took us to the film museum. They had an event at the film museum, and we made friends with a bunch of little Raquel, and we were digging for the dinosaur bones in like this pit. It was like a kids section in the film museum, like in the children's. No, it wasn't. It wasn't at the film museum. I take that back. It was the children's museum in Navy Pier. Remember how it's you go like kind of like up in that floor? That's where that was. They took us there. I was Dracula. You were this cat.
And that was Halloween?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, yeah.
We were babies. You were about maybe 3 tops.
Yeah. I think that's my earliest memory of Halloween. Or a unicorn. We all went with Sarah, Damien, Gab, Noel, Joseph.
Yeah, basically all our big family that now, all of them live in Vegas.
All of them live in Vegas now.
Hi, how's done? Yeah, no, that was a very important Halloween for us because that was all, basically, that was the last, at least as far as I know, that was the last Halloween that our generation of Roma spent on Southport, which was a huge Southport in
Oh,
like, that
yeah.
neighborhood.
Wow.
Yeah, because right after that, they all started leaving.
Well, Julie was the last one there, I think.
Nah, yeah.
Julie, my godmother, she was also on this podcast.
Yep, she was.
Last season with our aunt
Karen
as well. Both are our aunts. And yeah, no, she was the last one there. That was the end of Southport. Was yeah, that was it. After that, I think they moved maybe like the following year.
I feel like they moved even quicker than that.
I think it was the following year. Anyway,
whatever. Yeah,
that's a story for another time.
For another time.
So growing up, Halloween, yeah. Halloween growing up.
Yeah, we're still going on that.
Like I said, I love to dress up. I was always afraid of literally every little thing. So if the house looked too scary, I wasn't going. I would literally stand by the car, wait with my mother, and my father and Pierce would go, or something along the lines of that.
No, that's about it.
I remember always winning the costume contests whenever I would enter a costume contest. Like at school or whatever, I would always win. Because I really like dressing up. I don't know, I feel like as a creative person, that's just kind of my thing. I love Halloween.
She had to make sure everyone
But you know
saw.
what? I will say this. The thing that was terrible, the most terrible about Halloween is the fact that my brother, as you may know him,
yeah,
he would always be Batman or Dracula or this same costume.
That's it. That's all it was.
Over and over and over again. But one year he was Count.
Count. Well, mind you, that was because
from Sesame Street. Just shut up and let me tell the story.
Yeah, go for it. That was hilarious.
I was Danica Patrick, the race car driver.
That's right.
Because I was already kind of at that age where I was like, dressing up is like lame, you know? So I literally put on this coat that my father got.
All of us
from Stephen Barry's. It was like a really cool race car jacket.
Yeah.
So I just threw that on and I said I was Danica. And we literally went to like a mall or something trick-or-treating with our little brother. Yeah, we trick-or-treated
in a mall.
And Pierce with his loud voice. And it was still high-pitched at that time. It was so embarrassing.
She wants to throw.
It was very embarrassing.
I know. I was complete dog shit. Please. I know what I was growing up.
Anywho.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah, but I love Halloween. I love dressing up. I'm not sure what I'm going to be this year for Halloween, but if you guys didn't see what I did last year, I did all of the classic...
Scream Queens.
Yeah. Please go check it out.
Yeah, it's all over our Instagram. Maybe
TikTok.
We should repost that, too.
Yeah, I was thinking of reposting that the week of Halloween.
So probably when you listen to this, they'll probably already be reposted. Yeah, so you'll get a glance at the work that we did, because we did this all basically in the same place we're doing it now, where we're recording the podcast. So, what was your favorite candy?
Well, my favorite candy of all time has to be a white chocolate Reese's or Kit Kat.
Mm-hmm.
Love a good Crunch Bar. I don't know. I feel like I was candy obsessed as a child. But I would say white chocolate Reese's was my favorite until I became allergic to every type of nut. so I can't eat it anymore. But currently, I want to say my favorite candy would probably be like the Haribo, like a Haribo gummy. Not the twin snakes, the zingers. The zingers, it's like a sour strip, but the blue ones.
Yeah,
it comes in
right.
4 colors in the pack, but I like the blue ones, and I eat those.
Well, I'm talking like Halloween that you actually would get for like if you were trick-or-treating type though. What would be that?
Well, actually, Twizzlers used to only come out with the mini Twizzlers, like the 2-pack, during Halloween time. So that was my favorite, to have those Twizzlers, because they tasted way different than the normal terrible pack of Twizzlers. Twizzlies. Twizzlies. Yeah, but I would definitely say white chocolate, Reese's, or Kit Kat would top all of that. I love a good sucker, a good lollipop. Love those. That's probably my favorite candy. I take that back at the moment. Would be a good lollipop.
Like a Dum Dum or a Blow Pop?
I would say a blow pop. Give me cherry, or just give me cherry. It's good.
Watermelon's real good too.
Can't have the watermelon. I'm allergic.
Strawberries, dynamite.
They used to have a blue raspberry blow pop, but they don't have it no more.
Grape was even good. Sour apple.
Yeah, grape.
Was
Every
dead
one of
dog
those.
drunk.
But the best ones was from Dappers that you would get when you leave, and they'd give you a sucker.
They don't give
They
them
don't
no
do that
more.
anymore.
They give the Dum Dums though a little bit.
Dum Dums are good too.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, next question.
Obviously, the trick-or-treating and the costumes are one part of Halloween.
My favorite scary movie. It would have to be.
Well, it's not even just your favorite scary movie.
What scared you the
What
most?
scared you the most growing up? What even about Halloween scared you the most growing up?
Everything. I was very terrified of everything. It could literally be like an ad that you'd go in the grocery store, like you'd be walking in the market, here you see like some kind of stupid cartoon thing. It would scare me.
Mm-hmm. Mind you, that was like the joy of my life, was just seeing all this.
Everything about anything that's scary, I just don't like, because I do get scared. Whether or not it's supposed to be scary or not, I do get scared. So, whatever.
So then, what is the earliest scary movie that you think you've seen that got you good?
I think I saw Poltergeist. And that was when we had cable TV,
Mm-hmm.
Comcast with the remote, on demand.
On demand.
We were balling.
Yeah, big people.
Yeah. I think it was on like the Scary Movie Channel or All American Movie Channel, something like that. TMC or AMC, I don't know, something. But it was on, and I saw part of it, and I couldn't. The old man scared me.
Oh, you're talking about Poltergeist. I think that was 3.
I don't know.
I do remember.
But let's not talk about it too much.
Yoy. It's an old man, and he was, what's it called? He was all sweat.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, yeah, I don't like any type of scary movie.
He's like, that's how he talked. I remember that. Yoy.
God bless him. Don't make fun. Don't make fun.
What?
Stop.
That was the preacher.
Stop. Shh. Okay, next.
What do you mean next?
What's the next question?
That's okay. So then what scary movies do you like? Deke, everybody, she's crying her eyes out right now. She wants to leave, but I'm blocking the door, so she has no way out. I think I found Raquel's worst nightmare.
Stop.
Okay, so what's the scariest thing that you, or what scary movies do you like?
None. I don't like any scary movies. None. Okay, actually I do. The actual classic Universal monsters, those are technically considered scary movies.
Yes.
I could withstand those. Those are fine. Those do not scare me whatsoever. I've seen those movies 1,001 times. Not scared of those.
Okay, so what's your favorite one? Because mind you, you say that you've seen them, but I know you've only seen a select few. I know for a fact you've never seen Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah, I did.
When did you see Bride of Frankenstein?
By Bubba's. On TV. She don't have the VHS.
Probably on Svengoolie.
I think my favorite would be Frankenstein or Bride of Frankenstein. I would say Dracula because Renfield is very relatable sometimes.
Yeah, you should see her when she's not on this podcast.
Yeah.
Spitting image. Yeah,
but-
model.
Yeah.
She's going on the camera. Looks could be deceiving.
Anyway.
So we get it. You're at Renfield. All right, we got it. So you didn't see the Wolfman.
Yeah, I did. Are you crazy?
I don't remember ever. The reason I'm questioning this.
You know what I didn't see though? The Invisible Man.
Fair.
The Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
And that's it.
You didn't see Creature from the Black
Yes, I did.
When did you see that?
On TV.
Okay, all right then.
Yeah.
So Invisible Man and Phantom of the Opera. Well, I'll say this. A lot of people will probably be in the same boat with the Phantom for sure because it's a silent film, but it holds up. For 1925, my God, it holds up. Invisible Man is a great... I think... Now, I could be dead wrong when I say this, but as far as I'm concerned, and I've seen these movies enough, I think that The Invisible Man had the largest kill count out of every single... out of all the films. I think The Invisible Man murdered the most people.
You know what? I did see The Invisible Man. Doesn't he go to a party or something? There's like a big gala or there's like a big ball or something and he goes and... What? I'm talking about a different movie. Table that.
Okay.
Remind me of that later. Because I want to know what movie that is.
Isn't it black and white?
It's a black and white film and they're all dropping dead. They're all just dying. They're drinking something and then they're like gone. And then afterward, the gypsy woman's outside or something. Maybe I'm mixing up.
You're mixing movies.
No, this
Was
is
it
a
in
real
black and
movie.
white?
It's black and white. This is a movie. I remember it because when I came downstairs and Bella was watching it, I remember it because I was like, oh, I like that dress. That's how I remember that.
Such a gypsy girl. Yeah, you take that dress. I gotta think about what that is. So, are there any present scary movies that you enjoy?
No.
Is there one that scared you the most that you've seen recently? Because I know you've seen a few.
I saw The Evil Dead. It didn't scare me, but it was just... actually, no, it did scare me. Because the element of the priest and the recording and what they were doing was... That scared me. Everything other than that did not scare me. I could do the gruesome, the bloody, the major kills. That doesn't bother me at all. But when it deals with things with POSS.
Let's see if you can spell it. HIJKLMNFE.
Whatever, with thing and... anything the opposite of good. You know? That's it. I can't listen to it. I can't see it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Which is, I mean, and I know you sat through The Haunting of Hill House.
That wasn't scary.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying, like, but that's considered canon now in terms of what to watch, in terms of the spook. I've yet to see the fall.
And don't mention any other things because I don't want to think about
Fall
it,
of the
please.
House of Usher. That's a new thing. You don't even know what that is. I know you didn't start that.
Okay.
What did you think of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina?
I wasn't scared of that. For some reason, I wasn't scared of that. I don't know why. I don't know why my brain was okay with watching that.
Which is
For
honestly, though, is the most perverse
I know.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I gotta say shout out to, to Lisa Soper, the art director. If you ever listen to this, hi, how you been? Probably talk to you soon. Yeah, nah, she did a great job. Her and the crew made terrifying costumes, and the makeup effects and just the set design was gorgeous, but extremely moody and spooky. Loved it all. Great show. But yeah, I'm surprised you weren't afraid of that, because that would probably be the thing that would probably get you. I was just trying to rewatch it the other day, and I still look back at some of the first initial things that you see in the show, and I'm like, damn, that's some spooky stuff. So, yeah.
This episode keeps getting spookier and spookier.
I know! I'm dead scared.
You mean dead scared entertainment.
Come on. Let's just tell the listeners they can have more fantastic fun after the show on deadscaredentertainment.com.
She's right. There you can find all our episodes of Verda Darano, drawing videos, and most importantly, our store.
We've got t-shirts, hoodies, and more.
It's a great way to show your spooky pride, as well as fund some frightening film projects.
It's like putting money back in your pocket. So don't forget them all. Head on over to
deadscaredentertainment.com. And now, back to Verda Darano.
That's it. I'm not sleeping tonight.
So, speaking of spooky stuff, do you believe in ghosts, vampires, werewolves, aliens?
I believe that there's people sick enough to think that they're vampires like you.
How many times have we addressed this? I don't think that I'm a vampire. It's not that I even am one. I'm not. Okay. No.
People think I don't know. But what about the gospel? But I do. Okay? Ghosts. No. Paranormal things, yes. When I think of a ghost, I'm thinking of Casper and something that I enjoy watching in a cartoon. Yeah. Werewolves, I don't think so. Aliens? Yeah, I feel like there's definitely aliens, some type of other extraterrestrial life out there that the government's kicking off of their planet and evicting them to another planet or throwing them out into the universe and taking their planet. That's what I believe the government's doing right now. Kill me, I don't care.
Don't, because I'm dying. You know, I was going to say, so you think Bush is throwing them off? And I said, wait, Bush ain't the president.
Well, we got a robot for our president at the moment.
I don't even want to get into that.
Just
We're
take out-
starting the episode with the statement that the president is a robot.
That's not even funny.
It is funny. Hello, America.
Anyways,
So, have you experienced anything paranormal, supernatural, unexplainable, or as we might say, scary?
yes. And I feel like I've mentioned a couple of these stories before. And I'm going to make it quick because it's literally like 11 o'clock. And
Don't make it quick. This is where the juice comes in. This is where the meat and potatoes of the podcast is. Everybody, grab your blankets, pull them all the way up in your chin that you can feel it and you don't know where to put yourself. And
what if my foot's going to go right through your chin?
turn the lights out. Then make a cup of coffee in the dark. Because now we're getting into the nitty gritty.
So one of the scariest things I feel like recently that has happened to me was I was sitting in the kitchen. Actually, I wasn't sitting. I was standing near the stove cooking with my mother. And our little brother Colin was in the kitchen. I think you were eating at the table or something. No, you weren't. But Bappu came upstairs, our grandfather, and like the kitchen was happening. And everybody was busy doing whatever they had to do. And we live in a very, very small house. So the oven, kind of think of like an L shape. At the shorter bit, at the end of the L, is the oven. And then at the top or longest part of the L is the refrigerator. And the refrigerator is faced, it's kind of like slanted to the side, if that makes sense. And let me back it up. The refrigerator is covering the pantry door that we have at the back of the kitchen. So when you're coming in from the hallway into the kitchen, you can see the refrigerator, but you can't tell that there's a door behind it, practically. And I'm standing like kind of in the walkway of the hallway, but near the stove. And I was just cooking. It was super busy in the kitchen. Nothing special about that day. Didn't see anything scary to make my mind get triggered or think of something. And all of a sudden, when I turned to look at the back wall towards the refrigerator, just looked to turn my head, there was a face of a man. Well, it was like if he was real, peeking his head out of the side of the refrigerator. And he was bald with a really big mustache, white guy with blue eyes. And he literally was dressed in like a white shirt with overalls. And he had really like thick, fat, muscular hands. And you can tell that he was really, really tall. But he was leaning over and peeking his head and kind of made a face at me through the side of the refrigerator. And I was so shocked. I stood there for a second and kept like blinking my eyes, thinking like, okay, this isn't real, what I'm seeing right now. Then he made a funny face at me. So then I dropped the ladle in my hand and I started crying because I didn't know how to express my emotion at that time. And I was screaming for my father, who was in the bedroom. So he came running in. And mind you, everyone in the kitchen didn't see this because they were all, I guess, facing the oven. And when he came in the kitchen, the guy was gone. After that, I don't know why, but everything that I was seeing, like in social media, on TV, whatever, was images of this guy or figures that would look exactly like this guy. And my cousin actually texted me like a day or so after, oh, you should watch this movie. It's called Bronson or something. And it's literally, I think it's Tom Hardy, isn't it?
That's Tom Hardy. That's how he looked in Bronson.
Yeah, same thing. So it was so weird for that to happen, because you would think that those occurrences would happen prior to me seeing this thing. But it was after. So that's one thing. And then obviously the hat man with the feathers in his hat.
Well, who is the Hat Man?
I don't know.
Well, tell us about the story. Well, it's not about that if you want to know. You're just saying the Hat Man. Well, there might be people who don't know anything about what that is.
Well, it was this guy in an overcoat, could never see his face, but I knew he had a like fedora type hat with feathers in it. Really, really tall. And he would always be there in the night, always kind of follow around, creep around, whether it be home, in the grocery store, in the car, on the street, at the doctor's, craziest places ever. And he would just kind of be there. And I remember one day I went to a funeral and I saw this gypsy man, who I guess was one of our family members or something, with a very similar hat.
There's only one person, two people that I know that have that look. I won't say who they are, I'm not going to call them out. But I'm thinking now, but go ahead.
And ever since then, I thought that that was him. So for some reason in my mind, it like matched up the two. And after I saw this guy in person, I saw this figure once more. And then that was it. It was gone. I never saw him again. I also learned around that time to like rebuke and like kind of scare figures and whatever away, you know, in the name of Jesus. And then they would kind of just go away. Sometimes things that I would see or whatever wouldn't, and that would scare me more. But I protect myself a lot with praying and calling God to be near me 24/7, because I've become that person that is afraid of literally everything. I know a lot of times too, when it would be like super late in the night, especially when I was in college, I'd be up super, super late studying, doing my work, whatever. And I'd always go like into the kitchen to grab a snack, and I'd come back into my room. And I didn't have a desk or anything in my room. I still don't. I do all of my work literally sitting in my bed. But always, for some reason, the covers would just fly off of me. I could be tucked in, there's no wind, there's no nothing, no one's in the room.
No one blew a fart.
Yeah. Literally, the covers would just move for no reason. Like if somebody just picked up the side and like threw it. And I hated that. And that happened for a while. And I thought I was crazy until my little brother Colin saw it happen firsthand. Also another scary thing, but it's also kind of not so scary. I don't know. Sometimes when I think of our relatives who've passed away, like my Baba or my Uncle Maurice, I would think of them, and then all of a sudden, I would hear like a knock on my window, or my bed would shake, something so random, or something would fall. Yeah, so that's kind of scary, but it was also a little bit reassuring for some reason, because I just kind of figured it was them. There was also a time, oh my gosh, I was home alone. This was like one of the first times I was ever home alone. And I was sitting in the living room, and I heard 3 faint knocks on the door. So I think I called out and said like, "Oh, Bubba, if you're coming upstairs, like the door's open." And I didn't say to come in or anything like that for some reason. Like I knew not to say anything, wildly enough. And then I heard it again, and they kept getting louder. And it was like if someone, like I literally heard the footsteps, like going back and forth at the last like 3 or 4 steps to get into the house. Yeah, and then when I rebuked it in the name of Jesus Christ, it went away. But it was the weirdest, scariest thing, because I felt like heaviness in the air. And right after that, I remember talking with Monica, and she literally said, if you ever hear, because I think I told her about this. I told her about what happened. She's like, "Girl, thank God you never opened that door." Because whatever it meant, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, she's spooky too in her own right. Yeah, her.
But there's a lot of times too
Yeah.
where I'll be sitting in the living room and I literally hear people walking up the stairs. And it doesn't help that Bubba and Buckwoo always walk so slow up the stairs that you don't know if they're coming or if they're not, if it's just noises like the creaking of the steps, or if it's actually them coming up the stairs. But most of the time, it's literally like if someone's walking up the steps with like a heavy foot too.
Well, you have to remember, on top of all this, as we speak, this house is crumbling.
Yep.
We live in the oldest house on the block. And it really is like when friends are here, they all more or less, I have friends that still, once they heard the stories and once they heard about what we've experienced here, a lot of our friends don't come back. Or they'll stay outside and they'll say, "Hey, let's go out and do something." But none of them actually want to actually enter the home because crazy things happen. This was a very interesting episode so far, Raquel. Wow. Who would have thought? What a way to spend Halloween.
Yeah.
So to kind of round this out and to leave our listeners with a little bit more of a cheerful, positive message. If you had a message for the listeners, specifically if you would like to gear it towards the Roma listeners, because we have a very big bunch of those that join in, if there's some parting words that you got, encouragement, inspiration, advice, whatever that may be, now's your time to speak.
Well, since I know this is not going to be my last time voicing my opinion on this platform. I will say, if there's anybody out there who is Rom and still wishes to continue to keep that to themselves, by all means, that's fine. But if you do have an itch to tell people and you want to be proud of it and you just really don't care what other people think, then by all means, go ahead and say it. Because at the end of the day, the only person who you have to like deal with and who really has the power to change the way you think and the way you go about your actions is yourself. So if I were you, I'd be proud of who you are and not put yourself in a box. Also another note is for those younger girls who are listening to this podcast, I'm not sure if there's any younger girls who will be listening to this.
There's
I
a
know
huge amount of girls that listen to this.
Okay, well, if you're not scared and you got to the end of this podcast, I would say, especially for those who are Rom or come from a cultural background, upbringing, position where you kind of have to be pigeonholed into being a specific way or living your life a certain way. Please break that norm. Do what you want. Go where you want, live how you want, but do it with the right intentions. Do it for good. Don't do it just for kicks. Do it because you truly want something. If you have a dream or a goal, please go after it. Don't say, oh yeah, I wish I could have been this or done this or whatever. Look at these girls, how they're doing this and that or whatever. No. Shut up. Get your ass up and go and do it. Make something happen.
That goes for the boys too.
This goes for the men as well. Truly.
And get your heads out of the gutter.
Yes.
With all the dilinipen.
Because to a lot of Rom people, we're Gadje. Look what they're doing. They're like big Gadje. Who do they think they are?
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, at the end of the day, we're normal human beings who had a goal and went after it. And look where we're at. Look what you're doing. You're literally sitting here listening to our podcast.
That's right.
Because you want to see what we're up to.
Yeah.
So if I were you, stop being a hater and get your shit together.
Well, what if they're fans?
Send your kids to school.
Well, if you're fans, thanks for spending some time. But yeah, get an education.
And this is in no way going against what people truly believe in. If you believe in no school and no education and thing and whatever, that's on you.
Really?
But in
2023, that's on you.
In reality, I think everybody deserves a proper education. And to those people who are put in those boxes, who grow up thinking, well, I'm just going to do this and do that and I'll be a housewife and blah, 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 whatever. Don't get me wrong. I want to be a wife and have children too. And a home and all the whole nine.
Enjoy, God bless that husband.
But at the end of the day, I still want a life.
Yeah.
We have one life. And you're all sitting here looking at my TikToks. Wondering what I'm doing. What do you mean? Go out there and do it yourself.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing? What are you doing?
So that's my word for everybody. You can also find me, obviously on TikTok at Raquel Horvath. You can find me at Instagram at Raquel Horvath. And that's pretty much it. That's kind of all the social media I have. If you do want, also, here's another thing. I am now on Cameo. You can purchase a happy birthday shout out or a very specialized video for yourself or a friend or whatever from me. So if you want a personal video from me or have some questions that you want to get answered, you can definitely hit me up on Cameo. It should be at Kel Horvath, QUELHORVATH. So yeah.
And because I'm going to put myself, because I'm a dead dog, if you want one with a little bit more flavor, request my face.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. This is my Cameo, not yours, son.
Well, just wait. Wait. Someone's going to say, and then put Pierce in it for $5 extra.
Mm-mm.
What if they pay more?
If they pay more, you go get a Cameo.
I'll make a Cameo.
You deal with the fans. I'll
deal with them all day.
Go ahead.
I don't mind it. Listen, I'm here for you. I am a servant of society at this point because I realize that is what it takes to be in this game. I am here because I am born an entertainer. I will die an entertainer.
Also, next show, if you want to come support, November 4th at the Water Tower downtown here in Chicago, come see me walk the runway.
Just make sure that you're in the front row.
Yeah.
So that is a great little bit, but we also have something very important that I'll touch upon, specifically geared towards this podcast, that I would like to announce. Although it is Halloween and we are ending out the spooky season, this was a very wonderful season. My gosh, we had the Austin Bat Refuge, Incredible Bats. We had Romanistan on here. We had Done by Design, from Done by Design on here as well. And then obviously rounding out with Raquel at the end here. But the big announcement is this season and the podcast does not take a pause until next year. We are continuing the podcast for the first time. And honestly, it's been a while because we were originally doing this month to month before. Mm-hmm. Well, we're bringing it back full speed ahead with some other great guests. And we're talking guests from around the world. We're talking guests that work within the realm of bats, within the realm of music, acting, small business owners, you name it, we're going to have them down because we know this is a spooky world we live in, people. And people's stories must be told. You're here for it. I'm here for it. Raquel's really not here for it. But you know what? We need somebody out here to balance the scales at this point in time. So be sure to keep on the lookout at Dead Scared Entertainment wherever you find us on social platforms, be it TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, or our website. Be sure to check in on those particular platforms on the regular to make sure that you're keeping up to date with everything that's happening. Because now we are airing this at the end of October 2023, but we have a lot of things planned ahead for the holiday season coming, as well as the months ahead as we go through the rest of this year and into 2024, because we're going to be 3 years old at that point. We're going to really be hitting the terror triple at this point. And we thank you so much for spending the time with us tonight and the many other nights that you've spent with us listening to this podcast. I know
all the grija
we gave you. The biggest, the baddest, the smelliest.
The craziest party ever.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for listening to this episode and the many other episodes of Verda Darano. And from the bottom of our black hearts, we wish you a safe and spooky, happy Halloween. But we have to close it out as we close out every other one of these damn episodes. So, without further ado. Gosh, I make all this build up and everything, and she goes, all right, Looney Tune, talk.
Okay. Gia kor mangav tuke baktalotrom preko tunyaripet. Till then, I wish you safe travels through the darkness.
podcast of Verda Darano was brought to you by the talents of Pierce and Raquel Horvath, creators of Dead Scared Entertainment, with the help of Piroshka Rach. You've been listening to a production from Dead Scared Entertainment, where terror is our tradition. Good night.